Kong Skull Island! Oh my gosh! Okay. Oh my gosh, alright. That was fun. So, yeah, if you didn't understand me through all of that Kong chest pounding, I just came out of Kong Skull Island. It's premiere night for everyone that's not a professional journalist. Oh yeah, and welcome to Dinner and a Show. I'm Brian, on the road. And so yeah, what I think of this movie? Well, it was pretty darn fun. I will say that. I had a great time with that. And let me change the camera a little bit. Okay, cool. And I will kind of get the movie down for you in a nutshell. I don't think it'll take that long, because honestly the movie is pretty simple. John Goodman leads a organization that specializes in finding massive unidentified oh goodness, the MUTOs. Terrestrial organisms, there you go. Yeah, so they found an uncharted island called Skull Island that they would like to discover, and they get permission from the government somehow. I guess they disguised it as geological research. But really, John Goodman has other plans up his sleeve. He wants to flush the giant monsters out, and one of them being Kong, the 100-foot tall gorilla. And boy, is he not happy. You have other people in there. Samuel L. Jackson plays a colonel. That's a little crazy. There's John C. Reilly, who's been stuck on the island for 28 years. You have Tom Hiddleston, who's a tracker, and Brie Larson, who is a anti-war photojournalist. And those are pretty much your main characters. And so all of them, they have to try and get out alive of Skull Island so that they won't die. And in the meantime, find out more about Kong and what he's doing and what his purpose is. And yeah, so it's pretty crazy. And yeah, the story's pretty simple. I mean, you're basically there to watch Kong kick some tail and kill some monsters, take some names, and he does just that. It's pretty awesome to see. I would say it's close to on par with the 2005 V-Rex fight in that King Kong. That was a really good fight sequence. But yeah, this one was pretty close to matching the epicness of that. And I don't know. I was like, I'll have to say it. I'm using the actors' names because honestly I couldn't remember their characters' names except for like Brie Larson's. It was Mason, I think, and I think Colonel Packard. And that's probably it. Colonel Packard would be Samuel L. Jackson's character. They're just, I mean, a lot of them aren't memorable. They didn't say their names often enough for me to, remember them. So I can't really say that characters were great. But, I mean, the characters were good enough to move the story along. I mean, Samuel L. Jackson's character, he wants to get revenge for the death for a lot of his troops by killing Kong. He wants to kill Kong. John C. Reilly, of course, I mean, he was a World War II vet. He wants to get off the island to reunite with his wife and son that he's never met. And then you also have Tom Hiddleston, who's a tracker, and he initially, I think he goes through just, I guess if you want to call it an arc, he has he goes for money, obviously, a lot of money, but he I think he ultimately has a change of heart by the end. I mean, he honestly wants to protect the people that are there. And then ultimately he wants to save Kong after realizing that Kong is not the enemy and he's actually protecting the people on the island, the natives. Because there are these giant lizard monsters, I guess, that John C. Reilly calls skull crawlers that really want to eat people. And Kong's the only one that can take them out. Then you have Brie Larson's character. She has, well, I don't know, not much of a backstory, except she doesn't like the Vietnam War, or she didn't like the Vietnam War. And because by the time the movie starts, the war is pretty much over, 1973, 1974. But yeah, she is, I guess, more in tune with nature and stuff, and, you know, her being the girl in the movie, Kong takes a liking to her. I mean, it doesn't, the movie doesn't go any further than just a couple of interactions that are supposed to bring awe and wonder to just the majesty of the island and how powerful Kong is. Yeah, there's no romance twist in here, which was kind of good, because I was going to ask how this movie was going to pull that off. Pretty much this movie is setting up for a monster universe with Godzilla. For those who don't know, they're going to make a Kong versus Godzilla movie in probably a couple of years. Next year, I think they're going to have Godzilla King of Monsters, if I'm not mistaken. And that looks pretty exciting. But yeah, this was to help establish a monster universe. And I think it did the job well. All of the times that Kong was on screen, it was great. And I even think that, you know, we could feel for Kong. I mean, he's the last of his kind. All of his family were killed by the big one of the biggest skull crawlers, these really creepy lizard things. The movie was surprisingly more violent than I was expecting, but hey, I mean, yeah, they're on an island with a bunch of monsters. I should have seen it coming. But yeah, it was a ton of fun to watch. I mean, the action goes pretty quickly. I mean, they get the credits out of the way. They introduce Kong pretty quickly. They're on the island, I think within 20 minutes of the film. I mean, they have to set everything up, but other than that, it's like in no time at all. So yeah, if you're looking for a movie with a whole lot of depth to it, you're not going to get it. Watch the original King Kong from 1932. I think this movie pays a lot of homage to that, plus a few other films like Apocalypse Now, with a few of those really cool helicopter shots. It's very stylistic. Ooh, nice. I just saw some lightning. Very stylistic in how just they use slow-mo to in pretty cool ways, you know, with the helicopters and the explosions and a few of the action things. They use it a lot more than I was expecting. I like the color schemes for the island. It's very gritty, orangey, even a little bit of green in there. Cinematography was pretty cool. There was this one shot that distracted me, and I don't know why they put it in there. It was just like a weird. I mean, the camera was at a wide angle, but it looked like a vertical shot, and it just felt really out of place. But other than that, I mean, hey, this movie was a ton of fun. Stay till after the credits. There is an after credits scene, and it sets the whole thing up. And I'm super stoked for this monster series. This actually is very promising to be good. If you know this movie's successful and they are able to do a monster universe like this. I know Universal's trying it with their monster franchises like The Mummy and Dracula and Frankenstein's monster, probably Creature from the Black Lagoon, the werewolf, or the Wolfman, sorry. So yeah, it's just a very interesting time for movies trying to do a shared universe like Marvel did. And I say Marvel did it great because it's a freaking comic series. And so I think of the movies like comic issues. And so that's why it seems to work for them a lot, because it's just like an issue or a comic issue. Whereas here it's like they have to be very strategic in how they do this because they don't have that advantage, really. Maybe I'm just overthinking it, but I really hope that they're able to pull this off. Kong and Godzilla and all the others, because they were at the very end. Let's just say Godzilla has a very huge list of villains that he can fight against. Kind of like where Batman just has a whole array of villains, so does Godzilla, and it is pretty awesome. Alright, I will do my final score. I will give it a pretty high 5. This is a ton of fun, kind of like just a smart, kind of one of those a very entertaining turn your brain off movies, and just watching Kong just fight some monsters, break some helicopters. It's one of those movies, but it's a really fun movie. I think you'll like it. March is turning into a really fun month. Last week was Logan. By the time this video comes out, yeah, last week was Logan. This week is Kong. Next week is Beauty and the Beast, and then the week after that is Power Rangers, and then the last week of March is Ghost in the Shell. I mean, it's a really packed month this year, so this is a great time for movie lovers. All right, that's all I got. I'm Brian, and I will see you at the movies.